So you know how to build systems. You know Make.com, NA10, hell, you've probably even built a few automations that actually work. But you're still charging $500 to $800 per project while watching others like charge 3K for the same stuff. Well, I used to be in the exact same spot. Now I charge companies at least 8K minimum while running 180K a month agency. But here's what you have to understand. The difference between you staying stuck at $500 and actually building financial independence isn't your technical skills. You're good enough. The problem is that you're selling the wrong thing to the wrong people in the wrong way. Because financial independence, the kind where you actually have fuck you money saved up, doesn't come from getting better at building automation. It comes from understanding how to charge what you're worth. So in the next 10 to, 15 minutes, I'm going to show you the only 3 things that actually let you charge 3K instead of $500. Not position in theory, not add more value bullshit, the actual mechanism that makes people pay you more. Breaking it down all simply using first principles. So let's get into it. All right, number 1 is show them the math before you show them the system. And I'm gonna beat this dead horse one more time because clearly the horse hasn't been beaten good enough yet. Whatever system or automation you're building has to be tied to making money. And I'm sorry to tell you this, but if your system isn't generating something measurable in dollars, you're selling the wrong thing. And this is where most beginners, freelancers, and entrepreneurs are messing up. So you're out here selling AI infrastructure. You're selling automation, generic automation. You're selling, I'll connect your tools and make things efficient. Cool, but how much is efficiency worth? The client doesn't know. You don't know. So you both default to Upwork prices because there's no math to justify anything higher. And this is something you need to understand as kind of like your mantra, because if you don't, I won't even recommend starting an AI automation or a sales agency because you just guarantee failure, burnout, and being broke. Okay, so now that we've established that your automation has to be tied to making money, and since we know that you're gonna pick a revenue generating system, which is a sales system, and now we can actually show the math. So what is the actual math side? Well, it's dead simple. I put money in, I get money out. What nerds call ROI, return on investment. And if you think about it logically, what makes a company more money? Well, duh, it's customers, right? So here's what this looks like in practice. Your sales system generates conversations, intros. Those intros and conversations become customers. Those customers generate revenue and make the company money. Now you can do the math. If their average customer is worth $5,000 and this system gets them an extra 10 introductions per month and they close only 3 of them, well, that's $15,000 per month in new revenue. So if you charge them $3,000 to build and launch this, well, that's 20% of 1 month in return, and it runs every month after that. See how that works? So you're not asking to guess what efficiency is worth. You're showing them exactly what customers are worth and exactly how many more customers they're going to get. That's the math. And when you show them the math, before you show them the system, $3,000 stops feeling expensive and it feels like obvious and the simple next step. All right, so now you know how to show them the math. You can tie your system to dollars, show them the ROI, make 3,000 feel like nothing compared to the money they'll be making. But don't get too excited because this is where a lot of you are still going to struggle. You can have the best math in the world, but if you're pitching it to the wrong person, they still won't pay you $3,000 because the math only works if they actually have the money to spend. So number 2 is about who you are selling to. And I'm gonna save you months of wasted time on broke prospects. Let's talk about it. So this is so simple, yet most people can't grasp it. You cannot get $3,000 for someone who doesn't have $3,000, right? You cannot get $3,000 from someone who does not have $3,000, right? That's it. That's the whole point. So if you can't get $3,000 from someone who doesn't have $3,000, the question becomes, how do you know they have money? Well, very simple. Look at the signs that show that they are already spending money. So here's what I do and what you should start doing immediately. I only talk to people who already spent money trying to solve their revenue generating problem or show signs that they have money. So you should talk to people who have already spent money or showing signs that they have money to solve the revenue generating problem that your sales system is gonna solve. And we're gonna do something very, very cool. let's use inversion. Let's invert the question. Who doesn't have money? Well, solopreneurs, one-man shows running everything themselves, companies that aren't making at least $1 million per year. If they're doing 500K, they're still in survival mode. They don't have 3K lying around for systems. Startups with zero revenue, their pre-product market fit, burning investor cash. Businesses where the owner is also the only salesperson, because if they had money, they'd have hired salespeople already. Well, now flip it around. Who does have money and has spent it? Well, companies doing at least $1 million to $10 million a year with a proper sales team that needs pipeline. Agencies or service businesses that have already tried hiring SDRs, buying databases, or running ads, and it didn't work. Big B2B companies that you can easily reach since data on the internet is unlimited. So now you know the client has to have money and they have to already be spending it trying to solve the problem you solve. That's your market. And actually, a member I know who is 20 years old makes 40K a month. And I actually just recorded like 2 podcasts with him. Like he's doing exactly this. He doesn't waste time on discovery calls with solopreneurs anymore. He only talks to companies that have already burned money trying to fix their pipeline. So always talk to people who already spend money because they have money. All right, so you know how to show the math, you know who to talk to, but here's where everyone still messes up. You find the right people, they have money, they've already spent like 5K on solutions that didn't work. You show them the perfect ROI math, and they still go hire someone on Upwork for $500. Now you might be thinking, Saad, why? Well, because you're selling the same thing the Upwork guy is selling. You both say the same thing. So the client looks at both proposals and thinks, these are identical. Why would I pay you $3,000 when the other guy will do it for $500? And they're right. So you have to do the work they can't buy elsewhere. That's number 3, okay? And this is the only thing that actually separates you from being a glorified freelancer forever. So your system has to be reliable, scalable, and gets them an actual outcome. A system that runs without them, that generates actual results consistently, and that they can depend on month after month. So you deliver a system that works. And here's what nobody tells you. Building a system like that requires you to stop being a freelancer and start being an operator. It's not about knowing Make.com or anything better than them. It's about understanding the client's business, what they need, and tie it to the outcome that will make them more money. So the moment you make that shift, the moment you start thinking like an operator instead of a builder, $3,000 stops being hard to charge because you're not selling tech anymore. Well, you're solving business problems that justify thousands of dollars. All right, so let's bring this all together. If you want to charge $3,000 instead of like $500, you only need 3 things, okay? And let me give you a recap. Number 1, show them the math before you show them the system. Tie everything to revenue. If it's not making them money in dollars, you're just selling the wrong thing. Number 2 is only talk to people who already have money and spent money trying to solve this problem. You can't get $3,000 from someone who doesn't have $3,000. So find companies that are already burning money on shitty solutions. And number 3, stop being a freelancer, start being an operator, understand their business, solve their revenue problems, deliver systems that actually work. And that's what separates $500 from $3,000. And that's it. 3 things. So if you actually apply this, if you shift how you think about what you're selling and who you're selling it to, everything changes and it will change your business. It will change your life for the rest of your life. So I'll talk to you soon. Peace.